Alrighty, everybody. So today's session is simple, but it's one of those days where every exercise will literally shape the way you stand, the way you move, and the way you carry yourself. We're building hamstring depth, glute power, and back thickness. Basically, all of the muscles that make you look strong before you even flex. All right, so I'm going to walk you through how I train them, the mindset behind each movement, and the way you can level up the way you move in the world. All right, the first movement is my seated leg curls. This is basically where I'm setting the tone. I'm going to get a full stretch, focus on a brutal squeeze, and it's all about no ego. This is just control. This is all about control. So the full stretch, super duper brutal squeeze, and control. I'm going to do 4 sets here. I'm stick between 12 to 15 reps. And let's get into the first set. So I treat this first exercise like my reset button. Each rep literally reminds my body, like, yo, we're here to work. Bumped up the weight a little bit. You got to remember your hamstrings are like your brakes. If they're weak, your whole movement pattern will fall apart. Okay. So again, we're focusing on the stretch, the brutal contraction, and control. Okay. Set number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, set number 3, we're going to crank up the weight a little bit more. And one thing I've learned is that when the weight gets heavier, that's the point where you don't stop. I always remind myself that this is the point where I focus even harder, okay? So when it gets tougher, you don't stop. You just focus harder. We'll crank the weight up a little bit more on this third set. And just a reminder, it's all about control. You want to control the stretch. You want to control the squeeze, okay? Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. 10. Oh. So this particular RDL setup is one of my favorite movements. your glutes, your hamstrings, even spinal stability, everything is firing. This movement teaches patience. You want to take your time at the bottom and own it. All right, set number 2. Couple of cues that I look for on this movement is I don't want to just drop into the movement. I want to lower with purpose. And also, I want to feel like the dumbbells are pulling away from me, or the floor is pulling the dumbbells away from me. So those are a couple cues that I focus on while I'm doing this RDL setup. All right, this hip thrust is pure glute dominance. It's easy to want to rush through this movement, but trust me, you want to slow down, hold that top squeeze like you're trying to literally lift the roof, okay? So this movement can literally change the way your physique looks from every angle. And at the top, when I'm squeezing and I'm pushing my hips through the roof, I'm reminding myself every time, show up with power. Show up with power. Woo. I'll hit 2 more sets of this. Keep the weight right here. It's that sweet spot for me right now. 6. All right, so I finished with hamstrings and glutes. And your hamstrings and glutes are kind of like your engine, people. But your back is that thing that people will notice even when you're walking away. So now we're going to transition into getting that thickness. And we're starting right here with the chest supported T-bar row. All right. So with this movement, you want to ensure you're not cheating. There's no swaying, no jerking, just driving your elbows back and squeezing to work on that mid-back thickness. If you're doing this right, it's going to feel like your ribs are growing armor. And what I think about is every row equals me gaining control. Okay. This is where I'm trying to build that dense, powerful look. Rows. I haven't had 3 plates on here in a while. Set last set, I'm gonna do a drop set, a double drop set. This right here is that back thickness sweat right here. So double drop set, and then we're gonna move on to the next exercise. So with this movement, I'm not pulling and not yanking the weight. I'm actually driving my elbows down and pulling myself into the rep, if that makes sense. This is like literally one of those movements where you can get wider and look bigger without actually putting on more weight. This is the first working set. I'm gonna do 2 more and then get into the next exercise. And remember, open your chest, open energy. Close chest, close energy. Okay, so what I'm thinking about on this movement is pulling my elbows into my pockets, keeping my spine tall, and literally having my lats wrap around my rib cage. You got to understand that the vertical plus a horizontal rowing, that's the formula for a 3D looking back. So that's what I'm locked in with right now, people. All right, this is the last set of the session. By the last rep, the pump is crazy. It literally feels like armor is tightening. How I think about it is like this. Every session is its own story. So I don't want to just finish the workout. I want to end with intention. I want to finish the story, you know? So that's the mindset I have going into sessions, ending with intention, finishing the story. Let's go. Alrighty, everybody. That's going to wrap up the session. Ultimately, what I try to get people to understand is that training isn't just about looking good. It's about the way you move. It's about the way you stand. It's really about showing up with more power in your body so that you can show up with more power in your life. Hamstrings, your glutes, your back, they literally change the way you carry yourself. So If you vibe with this video, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and let's just keep leveling up mentally and physically. Peace. She wrote.